Have you ever stopped to wonder what the birds around us are really eating? It seems like a simple question, but the answer tells this incredible story of adaptation, a story that's literally written right on their faces. So today, we're going to learn how to read it.
I mean, just think about it. You see a sparrow in the park, right? It's a super common sight. But have you ever actually wondered what's on its menu for the day? Because that simple little meal, well, it's a huge clue to a much bigger story about survival, evolution, and the health of the entire environment around us.
Okay, so to get our heads around all this, we can basically sort all birds into three main groups. You've got the ones that eat plants, the ones that eat animals, and the ones that, eat a little bit of both. Let's break that down.
First up, you've got your herbivores. These are the plant eaters, like our friend the sparrow. Then there are the carnivores. These are the skilled hunters, like a majestic eagle. And finally, you have the omnivores, who are the ultimate adaptable survivors, like crows, who will pretty much eat anything they can find.
So let's start with those plant specialists. Herbivorous birds, like the pigeons and sparrows we see all the time, they're all about a diet of grains, seeds, fruits, and nuts. They are total experts at finding and processing plants, and that requires some very specialized tools.
And here is a fantastic example of that kind of specialization. Check out the hawfinch. That really stout, powerful beak it has. It is not just for looks. It's basically a built-in nutcracker, a high-precision tool that's evolved specifically to crack open super tough seeds that other birds just can't get into.
Okay, so now let's switch gears and talk about the hunters. Carnivorous birds are literally built for the chase. This group includes those magnificent birds of prey, like eagles and hawks. They use their incredible eyesight and razor-sharp talons to hunt other animals, everything from small mammals to reptiles.
But, not all carnivores hunt from way up in the sky. Take the heron, for example. It's a master of patience, just standing perfectly still in the water. That long, sharp beak isn't for tearing things apart. It's a spear. With a strike that's faster than you can blink, it snatches fish right out of the water. It's a totally different strategy, but just as deadly.
And then you have the woodpecker, which is, well, it's in a league of its own as a hunter. It climbs straight up tree trunks, taps on the bark, kong kong kong. It's actually listening for insects moving around inside. And once it finds one, it uses that chisel of a beak to drill right in and snatch its meal. It's just an amazing combination of anatomy and behavior.
And that brings us to our final group, the ultimate survivors, the omnivores. Birds like crows and mynas are thriving, especially in our cities. And the reason is simple. They are not picky eaters. They'll happily eat insects, seeds, fruit, and yeah, even the French fries you dropped. This flexibility is their superpower.
So as you can see, all these different ways of eating have left a physical mark, a kind of signature, on the birds themselves. And the biggest, most obvious clue isn't in their feathers or their feet. It's in the one tool they use for every single meal, their beak.
You can really think of a bird's beak as a multi-tool, perfectly shaped by millions of years of evolution for a very specific job. A sparrow's beak? That's a seed cracker. An eagle's sharp, curved beak? It's a butcher's hook, made for tearing meat. And a duck's wide, flat beak? It works like a sieve, filtering tiny bits of food right out of the water.
Honestly, if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. The shape of a bird's beak is never random. It's basically an advertisement for what it eats and how it lives. It's the key that unlocks the entire story of that bird.
But here's the thing. What a bird eats isn't just about its own survival. No way. These feeding habits are absolutely critical threads in the entire web of life. They connect birds to the health of the whole environment. They play a hugely important role.
And think about what that actually means. A hummingbird zipping from flower to flower isn't just getting a meal, it's pollinating those plants. A bird that eats fruit flies off and, well, disperses the seed somewhere new, planting a future forest. And a swallow gobbling up insects is providing all natural pest control. You see, they're not just living in the ecosystem, they are actively building.
So what this all means is that you now have a new way of seeing the world, a new lens. The next time you're outside, you're not just going to see a bird. You're going to see a living, breathing story of evolution and ecological purpose.
So here's my challenge to you. The next time you see any bird, doesn't matter where, in your backyard, at the park, don't just glance at it. Stop for a second. Look really closely at its beak and ask yourself, what kind of tool does that look like? What does that tell me about this bird's life?
Every single bird out there has a story of survival and a purpose in the world. And the secret to reading that story?
Well, now you know it's been hidden in plain sight this whole time. So the only real question left is, what stories are the birds all around you just waiting to tell?